I just kept a journal of like every single idea I had, and not really for the purposes of making a show, just because it's one of the things that I do. I enjoy writing, and I do that to sort of clear the static that is otherwise in my brain, and especially if I can't sleep or if I'm bored on a train or whatever. And so I keep a little notebook, and then at the end of every month or every 8 weeks, I might look through the notebook and see if there's any decent ideas in there that can be used for any material. And most of it's shit, and sometimes something looks like it might not be shit, and then when you start to string it out into a longer piece of writing, you realize, no, it actually was shit. Sometimes it looks like it's not shit, and then in a longer piece of writing, when you spin it out on the computer and you actually start like adding, adjectives, it's not shit still, and then you might look back at it 2 or 3 weeks later, and it turns out, no, you were wrong, it was shit. And if it goes through multiple processes of not feeling shit to me, then I would show it to Anne Rieger, who is my very good friend and dramaturg who keeps me honest, and she speaks English as a second language, which is very helpful for a number of reasons. If it doesn't make sense to her, then it probably means it's only funny to me. And so if it passes her test as well, then it kind of goes into a bank where it might end up in the show.
I mean, I think we all have a funny relationship with morality. I'm not even going to speak for anybody else. I'll just come right out and say, my concept of right and wrong, it ain't that concrete. Violence, script, thriller. Yeah, human flesh. Oof. The bones were moving around Pangea style underneath the skin, which I assume had been, that is, my own face, replete with high cheekbones and a massive forehead. Pop. That's why I don't improvise. What are we doing here? I would have got fired if I didn't fire myself. Cocoon. That was a sexual act that was designed for your pleasure, not mine. Take it or leave it. She said, text, words. First of all, false alarm. It was an oversight. Noise. 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 No ice. Noise. Silence. You really need to hear it to believe it. Enough talking.
Sometimes it's just like a single image. Sometimes a whole sort of like stanza or joke will come. For the more narrative aspects, because the show sort of balances a strand that is broadly speaking poetry, a strand that is broadly speaking stand-up, with a kind of central strand, which is storytelling, is a narrative. And for that, you often get like 1 or 2 little kernels or images that I just start to sort of describe. And one of the things I've kept in is my process of deciding what happens next. So actually, in a lot of those bits, I start to describe something and then kind of change my mind about what it is I'm actually seeing in my mind's eye. And I've kept that in the voice of the text so that when you're picturing it as an audience member, the thing sort of develops like a photograph does for you. Multiple processes of not